The best thing about DeFi is getting paid to wait. You already bought Ethereum because you believe in where it's going. But while you're waiting for that thesis to play out, you can use your crypto to generate consistent daily cash flow. Real fees, real income, all while you hodl your ETH. But if you've looked into providing liquidity, you've heard the horror stories. You've heard about impermanent loss. Price drops and your position bleeds. And you're right to be worried about that, because it's real. But what almost nobody knows is that you can hedge that LP. If price crashes, the hedge absorbs those losses dollar for dollar. And all those fees that you earn from the drawdown, that's pure profit. It's almost risk-free yield. I'm Brandon, co-founder of Overseas DeFi, and today I'm going to break down exactly how to construct that hedge. The math, the sizing, and the honest trade-offs, step by step. Here's the thing most people get wrong about providing liquidity. They treat it like a savings account. Set it, forget it, and just collect the fees. For a while, it works great. Price stays in your range, the fees are rolling in, all is well. But suddenly, the price crashes and escapes the bottom of your range. There's no more fees, and the LP, now it's just a bag of ETH that you didn't plan for. Full exposure, no protection. It happens a lot more than you'd think. I've sat with members with a 6-figure LP position and no hedge in place. Nobody ever showed them how to think about the downside of an LP the way I'm about to show you. Here's what we're going to cover. First, why do LPs behave so much differently than spot positions? See, LPs are what we call forced market participants, and that changes everything. Second, I'll show you how to calculate your worst case exposure. Third, I'll show you exactly how to size your hedge to eliminate your downside risk. And finally, the honest trade-offs, because there's no such thing as a silver bullet, not even with this. Let's start with something that most videos and courses skip over entirely. When you provide liquidity, let's say ETH and USDC, your position is dynamic. Your tokens are being used to fill orders. Your LP is actively facilitating trades. Here's what that means in practice. Imagine that this box represents your range. If traders are selling ETH and the price is dropping, it's your LP that's doing the buying. If price keeps dropping, your LP keeps buying all the way down to the bottom of your range. If price rallies, it's the opposite. Traders are buying ETH, your position is selling ETH all the way up to the top. Now contrast that with spot. If you hold ETH in your wallet and the price drops, you choose what to do. Sell, hold on, maybe buy some more. It's completely up to you. An LP doesn't give you that choice. It's forced to take the opposite side of every trade. Now, that forced behavior, it sounds like a problem, and it can be, but it's also what creates the entire opportunity for what I'm about to show you. Because if the risk is predictable, then we can hedge it. Hopefully, you're starting to shift how you think about liquidity positions. But the real insight comes next when you understand what happens at the very bottom of your range. That's where the hedge logic begins. All right, this is the part nobody talks about, the worst case exposure. When price falls to the bottom of your range, your position gets fully converted into ETH. It runs out of USDC, buying ETH from the traders. It's not really an LP at that point. It's just a bag of ETH. And it's not just the ETH that you deposited at the beginning. It's more. Your LP was buying more ETH the entire way down. Let's make this concrete. Say you open up a position with the top of your range and the bottom of your range about the same distance from the current price. Your deposit is going to be roughly a 50-50 split. So for example, you put 1 ETH up here and about 2,000 USDC down here. Now, as the price falls, that 2,000 USDC that you deposited, that gets converted into ETH as well. That means at the bottom of your range, you now have about 2 ETH. That's your worst case exposure. If ETH keeps falling, your LP keeps losing value with 0 fees now coming in. That is your real risk. And that's exactly what we're going to protect. Think of it this way. It's like owning a rental property in a bad market. Your property value is going down, but at least you have a tenant paying rent. If they move out, well, now you have no income. You're just holding a depreciating asset that's bleeding out value. This is the piece most LP tutorials completely miss. They show you how to set up a position, but they don't show you what that position turns into if things go wrong. But once you know the worst case, 2 ETH in this example, you can hedge it precisely. And that brings us to the actual hedge, how to size it, when to enter, and why most people do it wrong. Here's where most people make a mistake with hedging. They try to stay perfectly delta neutral at every price point. They constantly adjust. Buy here, sell there, chasing every single tick. It sounds sophisticated, but in practice, it literally means you're buying tops and selling bottoms. You're generating trading losses on top of whatever the LP is doing. It's the opposite of a hedge. You're actually accelerating your losses. The approach I use is much simpler, and honestly, it's way more effective. This is what's going to help you sleep without fearing the impermanent loss boogeyman. Step 1. Go to a simulator. Revert has one on the dashboard, but today I'm going to show you my preferred tool over on Crystal. Step 2, on Crystal, click on the specific pool you're planning to use or the one you already have your LP in. Step 3, scroll down and enter your parameters. Put in your range and put in the total dollar value of your position. Step 4, scroll down a little more and click the IL simulation link. On this screen, you want to set the future price to a value below your lower range limit. Step 5, the simulation will now show that your position has been converted to 100% ETH. In this example, it's about 2 ETH. This is your absolute worst case exposure. That is exactly how much ETH you will be forced to hold if the market tanks. Now that you have that number, you take the guesswork out of it. You're going to short that full amount of ETH right now, not when the price starts dropping, not when you're already 20% underwater. You do it now while the house is still standing. So the insurance is in place before the fire. So wait, short the full 2 ETH, but I only have 1 ETH in my position right now. Isn't that overhedged? Yes, temporarily it is, and that's intentional. You're not hedging your current state, you're hedging your worst case. Because the whole point of a hedge is to protect the downside that you can't control. The LP is going to force buy ETH as the price drops, whether you want to or not. Your short needs to be already in place when that happens. Now, let's walk through what happens when you've sized your hedge properly and the price actually crashes, because this is where the math gets beautiful. As ETH is dropping, your LP is losing value, but your hedge is gaining value at the same rate. Every dollar of loss in the LP is offset by a dollar of profit on the hedge. This means that all the fees you're collecting are pure profit. By the way, you can also adjust your range lower and lower to follow the price. The more price action you can capture with your range, the more you profit as a liquidity provider. That's what almost risk-free yield means. It's not that there's no risk in the system. It's that the directional risk, the thing that kills most positions, is neutralized. What's left is the fee income. If you've followed the logic this far, you're already thinking about this differently than 99% of liquidity providers. Most people set a range and pray. You're learning how to engineer the outcome. Now, I promised the honest trade-offs, and there is one. It comes when price goes up instead of down. Now, let's say we start the position and the price is just going sideways for the first couple of days. Because price is inside our range, we're just collecting our fees. But then ETH catches a bid. As the price climbs higher, the LP is doing its job. It's selling ETH for USDC and it's gaining in value. But as soon as price hits the top of our range at 3,100, there's no ETH left. It's just USDC now. The LP stops gaining value and the fee collection stops too. Meanwhile, your short position is losing money. You shorted 2 ETH, so now you're losing $2 for every dollar the price rises. By 3,400, the hedge is down $800. The LP profit is capped, but the hedge loss is technically unlimited. This looks like a complete disaster. But remember, this isn't your entire portfolio, or at least it shouldn't be. If you're structured correctly, you also hold spot ETH. Maybe it's ETH supplied on a lending protocol like Aave, or maybe it's just sitting in your wallet. The LP plus hedge is just one component. It's your yield engine designed to collect fees with that downside protection. Spot holdings are your directional bet. Your different positions have different jobs. Don't try to fight the price action with your LP. Pair it with a hedge and let it do exactly what it's designed to do, generate fees. Keep your directional exposure somewhere where you control it. So the natural question is now, when does this strategy make sense and when should you skip it? I'll keep this simple because it is simple. Hedge your LP when the trend is down or sideways. That's when liquidity positions are most dangerous. They're accumulating ETH into declining prices. The hedge neutralizes that. Whenever the market is in a strong confirmed uptrend, that's when you want to close your hedge or don't even open one in the first place. A few rules I follow. Initiate the short near the top of your LP range or at resistance. The better the entry, the smaller the drawdown if you're wrong. Never short blindly. Have a thesis. Price is trending down or range bound. That's a thesis. It feels like it might drop. That's just gambling. Size your hedge according to worst case exposure, not current exposure. We covered why. Most of our members use this when the market is either clearly trending down, making lower lows and lower highs, or if the market is just stuck in a sideways range. Let me pull this together. Liquidity positions are not passive investments. They're forced participants. They buy on the way down and they sell on the way up, and you don't get a vote. That forced behavior creates real risk, specifically concentrated ETH exposure at the worst possible time. But because that risk is predictable, it's hedgeable. The hedge is simple. Just calculate your worst case exposure at the bottom of the range. Then short that amount. If price crashes, the short absorbs the loss. Your fees are clean profit. This isn't about being perfectly delta neutral. It's about staying solvent, staying calm, and letting the strategy do the work while you collect the fees. If you've never shorted crypto and you want me to make a video on it, just comment "go short" down below. If you're brand new to DeFi and you want to learn how to get started, we'll link our free mini course in the description. And if you're someone who has crypto already and you just want to accelerate your learning curve, that's exactly what we help people to do here at Overseas DeFi. There's a link for a strategy call in the description. No pressure. We just talk through your situation and see if this makes sense for you. Thanks for watching.